Okay, so this is just a quick demonstration of two different mesh types. They've both been created from UFO-CFD, and they've both been created from the same geometry. So I've got here the Stanford bunny STL file. It's quite a fine STL, and initially I've created a Cartesian mesh of that. So that is a uniform Cartesian or rectilinear mesh. That the first version of UFO-CFD uses. And then I've also created an octree mesh, which is a more recent version of UFO-CFD. And that looks something like that. And I've deliberately created them both about the same size to make the comparison a bit easier. So the Cartesian mesh is created using this, or it can be created using this GUI, so you can see the STL file, and then you can adjust your mesh around it. You set all of your solver variables in here, but it's basically just to facilitate filling in the text, ASCII text file. And then the other octree mesh is created from this, just a text file, and the meshing stuff is just the top few lines. So you can create a mesh really quickly and easily without having to do many settings, and it's fully automated and it is very quick. I mean, like a few seconds. It will generate the mesh and write it out in a few seconds. So just have a quick look at the meshes, starting with the Cartesian one. If we take a cut through it, so in the mesh it stores the LCD array and the distance field. So LCD is the live, cut or dead cell indicator. So if we switch that on, get rid of the bunny. So this just indicates +1 for live, -1 for dead, and the cut cells are 0, that's green. And so that's basically used as a flood fill algorithm just to create two separate regions for the CFD solver. And there's also a distance field on there as well, so that you can get a smooth surface from that. And so if you want to look at the surface, you can either just go straight to threshold and based on the LCD array, you can just create, visualize all of the cells, all of the cut cells, or all of the dead cells. That's a quick way to have a look at what the mesh looks like. Or you can, you have to do cell data to point data, then you can create a contour, and you can create a contour of LCD, which is a bit bumpy, or you can do the distance field, which is a lot smoother, and that's the distance field value 0. That's your 0 level surface. And for the Cartesian mesh, you get quite a nice smooth distance field surface because the mesh is nice and uniform. Then you can like overlay the bunny, the actual STL geometry on that, just to compare it. And there's a bit of loss of detail in areas that are thin, like the ears. That's to be expected. So that is the Cartesian one. And so if we have a look at the octree one, here you've got different levels of refinement. You can see here if we look at the different mesh levels, you can see it starts at coarse mesh on the outside and then gets finer and finer, finer. So this red is level 6. Obviously you start off with a large cube and then subdivide it. And each time you subdivide it, you get a higher level. So you can have a look at the LCD array again on this one. So you can still see that the flood fill has completely separated those two regions into live and dead. And you can also look at the distance field. That looks like that. So the octree mesh stores the distance, the LCD, and the level because you've got different mesh levels in the octree mesh. And just like before, we can go to threshold, select LCD and say 0, and then instantly look at, in this case, the cut cells. Or if you want, again, I think you have to do cell data to point data, and then select the contour surface, and then select the distance field, and select 0, and then again you get the bunny. Ears are not so quite. Ears are not so quite as well refined in that case. So that is a very quick overview of the two types of mesh. So quick comparison between Cartesian mesh and octree mesh.